Just can't believe I will be 80 at some point sooner than I wish.
When you're making a fragrance, you can tell them these are
Cher, 79, still looks 49. She avoids top 5 foods and doesn't get old. She's 79, but looks like she's barely 49. No surgery magic, no miracle drug, just the kind of choices most people ignore. Every single day. Every 37 seconds, someone in the US dies from heart disease. But do you know what's even scarier? Most of it could be avoided, not by cutting carbs or buying expensive supplements, but by doing what Cher has done for decades. You'd think the secret to looking that young at nearly 80 is all about money or plastic surgery. But here's the truth. Cher's youth doesn't come from injections. It comes from pasta, from Zumba, from saying no to cheese, but yes to ice cream. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up. In today's video, we're going to break down exactly how Cher has defied aging for over 40 years, with real science, personal stories, and the kind of tips you can start using today. The foods she swears by, and the ones she'll never touch again. The workouts she enjoys, and the ones that saved her posture. The mindset shift that changed her life in 1991, and the one indulgence she still keeps, no guilt attached. If you're over 50 or even over 30 and wondering how to age without feeling, well, old, this video is for you. Tell me in the comments. What's one habit you've stuck to that helps you feel young? I'll read through every response because we're building a community of vitality here, not just another health channel. Let's get into it. You're going to love what's coming. The unbelievable truth. Why Cher still looks 49 at 79. Let's be honest. If you didn't know her age, you'd probably guess Cher is somewhere in her late 40s, max. But this woman, she was born in 1946. That's right. She survived disco, grunge, TikTok, and still manages to look like she skipped aging altogether. So, how is that even possible? Is it surgery, genetics, money? Actually, no. It's about consistency, self-respect, and a choice she made over 30 years ago that changed everything. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. When Cher was 45, she looked great, but she didn't feel great. She was exhausted on movie sets, snacking on M&Ms and soda, and dragging through rehearsals. It wasn't until 1991 that she hit a turning point. She met a sports nutritionist, overhauled her habits, and committed to a lifestyle that had nothing to do with trends and everything to do with vitality. From that moment, she stopped chasing youth and started creating energy. And the results? They speak louder than any headline. You've seen her at Paris Fashion Week, owning the runway at 79, with confidence and poise that women half her age envy. This isn't about vanity, it's about vitality. And here's the biggest lesson. Looking young starts way before you see wrinkles. It's not about Botox. It's about showing up for yourself every single day when no one's watching. Now you might be wondering, what does showing up actually look like for someone in their 70s? That brings us to the next part of her secret. A workout routine that not only keeps her toned, but also keeps her mentally sharp and emotionally strong. Let's dive into that next. Her fitness code. How Cher trains like a 30-year-old. Most people slow down as they age. Cher, she sped up. While most of us are figuring out how to ease joint pain in our 50s, she's out there surfing, dancing, and doing planks that would make a CrossFit coach proud. Her fitness code isn't complicated, but it's relentless. She trains like someone half her age, not because she's chasing abs, but because she understands a straightforward truth. Movement is medicine. Cher works out 5 days a week, not casually, not when she feels like it. She shows up with a trainer, with intention. And here's the kicker. Her trainer doesn't let her use the "I'm too old" card. No excuses, no shortcuts, just sweat, strength, and a serious dose of discipline. She said it herself. You have to work twice as hard when you're older. That's not just fitness talk, that's life wisdom. But she's not stuck in a gym for hours doing boring reps. Her workouts are fun. Zumba, Wii tennis, walking on the beach, surfing. Yes, surfing in her 70s. These aren't just hobbies, they're brain fuel. Because here's what science tells us. Dancing improves memory, surfing sharpens reflexes, and every step she takes outside helps her mood, her metabolism, and even her skin. Real talk, that's smarter than any face cream on the market. Here's the mistake most people make. They think exercise is only about the body. But Cher proves it's about energy, attitude, and aging with a powerful presence. She trains her brain as much as her muscles, and it shows. But her strength didn't start in the gym. It began in the kitchen, back in 1991, when one food decision changed her health forever. Let's talk about that next. The 1991 turning point. How one diet change saved her body. Back in 1991, Cher hit a wall. She was exhausted, bloated, and constantly battling low energy, despite being a global icon with access to everything. That was the moment she realized no amount of glam could cover up how she felt on the inside. That year, she made a decision that would completely transform her body, her mind, and the way she aged from that point on. Enter Robert Haas, a sports nutritionist who didn't sell her on crash diets or trendy cleanses. Instead, he helped her develop a real plan, one that was sustainable, practical, and tailored to her needs. She swapped junk food for real fuel. Out went the soda and candy. In came sweet potatoes, lentils, and colourful fruits. One small habit at a time, she rewired the way she treated food, not as comfort, but as power. One of the biggest revelations? A microwaved sweet potato. Yep, that humble orange root. Cher and fellow actress Michelle Pfeiffer discovered they could nuke one in just 4 minutes between film takes. That tiny trick, it replaced M&Ms and fueled long shoot days with steady energy, not sugar crashes, and the result wasn't just weight loss. Her digestion improved, her skin glowed, her energy came back. She felt alive again. That's the magic of choosing food that works with your body instead of against it. Here's the takeaway. Cher didn't follow a fad, she followed consistency. And that's where most of us go wrong. We look for quick fixes when what we need is a long game mindset, curious what those age-defying foods are. Let's break down her go-to power foods and why they work. Cher's youth menu. 4 anti-aging foods you're probably ignoring. Let's talk food, not the trendy kale smoothies or $10 powders influencers sell you, but the everyday staples Cher swears by. These aren't exotic, expensive, or hard to find, but they are powerful, and the best part, they're probably already sitting in your grocery store waiting to change your life. First up, sweet potatoes. Cher's love affair with this orange superfood started on movie sets, where she and Michelle Pfeiffer would microwave them in minutes. They're packed with beta-carotene for glowing skin, fiber for digestion, and a low glycemic index, meaning no sugar crashes. Think of them as nature's slow-burn energy bomb. And they taste amazing with just a sprinkle of cinnamon or a drizzle of olive oil. Next, legumes. Beans, lentils, chickpeas. Cher's vegetarian, so these are her go-to for protein. But they're more than just meat substitutes. They're loaded with iron, magnesium, and fiber, helping to keep your gut happy and your heart strong. Want younger skin? Start with healthier blood flow, and legumes are your secret weapon. Then there's pasta. Yes, pasta. But not the creamy, heavy stuff. Cher creates her own diver sauce, which is made with olive oil, garlic, onions, herbs, and tomatoes. It's Mediterranean, it's anti-inflammatory, And it proves you don't have to give up joy to eat clean. Add grilled veggies or a few chickpeas, and you've got a meal that loves you back. And finally, fruit, the right kind. Cher's top picks: bananas for energy and potassium, papaya for digestion and skin repair, and nectarines in summer, high in vitamin C and sweet enough to kill cravings without killing your waistline. Each of these foods isn't just a snack, they're a strategy, a long-term investment in how you look, feel, and age. But if some foods give you life, others quietly drain it away. And Cher learned to cut them out completely. Ready for the no list? Let's go there next. The no list. 5 foods. Cher cuts that are aging you faster for all the things Cher adds to her life. Movement, color, joy. She's as intentional about what she removes. Because here's the truth. You can't out-Zumba a bad diet. Some foods accelerate aging, much like pouring gasoline on a fire. And Cher's not messing around with those. Let's start with the big one. Cheese. She's called it one of the worst things for the body. Why? It's high in saturated fat and cholesterol, tough to digest, and often leaves you feeling heavy and sluggish. Sure, it's tasty, but so is regret. And the science backs her up. Over time, excess dairy consumption is linked to inflammation, bloating, and yes, accelerated aging. Then there's milk and most dairy products. Cher swapped out whole milk decades ago, now using only non-fat milk, if at all. She's ahead of the curve. Studies now show that milk can be a significant source of artery-clogging fats in the American diet. And don't get her started on red meat. She avoids it entirely. Too much red or processed meat increases the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. The link is real. Cher plays the long game, and meat isn't on her winning team. She also skips alcohol and coffee, not because she's a saint, but because she's strategic. Alcohol disrupts sleep, dehydrates the skin, and contributes to DNA damage. Coffee, especially in excess, can spike cortisol, the stress hormone. Not great if you're aiming for inner peace and outer glow. The big lesson here: you don't need to be extreme, but you do need to be aware. Cher made those cuts years ago, and her skin, energy, and attitude show it. But here's a fun twist. While she avoids those 5 aging culprits, she still keeps one guilty pleasure and turned it into a global business. Yep, we're talking about ice cream. And that's where we're heading next. Youthful spirit, the real reason. Cher never gets old now. We've talked about the food, the workouts, even the things Cher cuts from her plate. But if you ask her what truly keeps her young, it's not the pasta, it's not the gym, it's her spirit, her unapologetic, untamed, unshakable attitude. Because here's the deal. You can eat kale and jog 5 miles a day, but if your mind is weighed down by fear, shame, or regret, you'll feel old no matter what your birth certificate says. Cher lives with purpose, and she owns who she is, every wrinkle, every grey strand, every contradiction. I'm not trying to be young, she says. I am who I am. That level of self-acceptance, it's rare, and it's magnetic. She doesn't try to hide her age. She honors it, loves it, learns from it, and guess what? That kind of confidence is ageless. One of the most potent signs of her youthful mindset: love. Cher is in a relationship with someone 40 years younger. And she's thriving. Not because she's chasing youth, but because she refuses to let anyone define her limits. That right there is emotional fitness, and it might be more critical than any plank or smoothie. So here's your takeaway. The key to looking and feeling young might live between your ears, not in your fridge. When you love yourself, laugh often, and stay open to life, your body follows. And if you think that means giving up all pleasure, think again.
Fragrance.
Because Cher still indulges.
Tell them these are
She does it
body
smart.
wasn't easy.
And her
I
ice
killed
cream
myself in
story,
the gym to have this.
it's as sweet as you'd expect. Her secret indulgence. Why Cher still eats ice cream, but smarter. Yes, after all the workouts, the clean eating, the saying no to cheese and red meat, Cher still says yes to ice cream, and not just occasionally. She's been spotted enjoying it around the world, from Italy to New Zealand. It was a scoop of creamy delight in New Zealand that sparked something bigger than a craving. It sparked a business. That's right. Cher launched her ice cream brand, because if she's going to indulge, she's going to do it on her terms. This isn't just about dessert, it's a mindset shift. Cher's not anti-pleasure, she's pro-intention. She doesn't eat ice cream out of boredom or stress. She enjoys it with joy, presence, and no guilt. That's the real difference. Most of us beat ourselves up for the tiniest treat, but she embraces it and keeps moving forward. She knows one scoop won't ruin her health journey. It's the habits, not the exceptions, that define us. And the flavors, they're bold, unique, and full of personality, just like Cher.
I will be 80
Her
at some
favorite?
point sooner than
A dark chocolate cherry swirl that's rich, satisfying, and worth savoring. That's the final lesson here. Healthy living isn't about restriction. It's about balance, about choosing what fuels you most of the time, and thoroughly enjoying what delights you some of the time. So if you're walking away from this video thinking, I could never do what Cher does, I've got news for you. You can. You don't need to be famous. You need to start with one thing, one better food, one fun workout, one empowering choice, and maybe one scoop of delicious ice cream. Thanks for watching. If this inspired you even just a little, hit the like button, share your favorite healthy habit in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Because aging well isn't just Cher's story, it can be yours too.